Sponsored by Surfshark. It's one of those dull but durable realities. Sometimes getting better is just a matter of consistent effort over time. Case in point, OnePlus started its smartwatch journey in 2021 with a misfire so disastrous that it would be 2 full years before it tried again. That follow-up from 2024 was good, but with obvious, frustrating shortcomings that saw me drop it off my wrist as soon as my review was done. I expected much the same from the OnePlus Watch 3. What I got instead was the best watch on Wear OS. And to carry on the tradition of reviewing OnePlus devices on big ships, I took this one to sea, too. Actually, the timing of this expedition was a happy accident. My dad and I were celebrating a milestone birthday by taking a cruise from basically my front door in Brooklyn to the Bahamas. And a cruise turns out to be the perfect venue for a smartwatch review. The MSC Meraviglia is over 1,000 feet long, so Dad and I logged plenty of steps just getting from our staterooms to the upper decks. Then there was the lighthouse climb on Ocean Key, 165 stairs into the sky, and all the walking we did on a visit to Kennedy Space Center in Florida, where we lucked out and caught a rocket launch. And with a total of 4 sea days in our week-long itinerary, there was plenty of opportunity to measure time slipping away. The OnePlus Watch 3 looks a lot like the Watch 2, and this time, that's a compliment. That asymmetric, automotive-inspired casing checks all the boxes, with stainless steel, PVD-coated titanium, and sapphire crystal, protecting a 1.5-inch watch face capable of 2200 nit brightness. Unless it's a small smartwatch you're looking for, this 46mm 81-gram honker has everything you want, including universal 22mm lugs. So you could swap out this year's emerald band for last year's cooler green, or this new Nordic blue beauty, which I specifically requested in my OnePlus 13 review a few months back.
It's the most maritime phone design I've seen in a while, and I hope some of this design language makes it to a future OnePlus Watch.
This is also the first Wear OS watch in a while to get all the pushers right. For one thing, OnePlus corrected its biggest misstep from last year. The 2 o'clock crown is now a proper digital job, capable of scrolling and zooming like the good Lord intended, with a new textured, tapered design and nice, clicky haptics backing it up. Almost as critical, at least for me, you can now program each pusher with 2 shortcuts of your choosing, instead of being forced into a system default. For me, that means I can jump into timer, stopwatch, wallet, and assistant without needing to touch the display. Buttons are back. OnePlus has also continued down the ruggedization road it's been traveling for a while now. The Watch 3 has dual dust and water resistance ratings of IP68 and 5 atmospheres. It's not quite the IP69 that the OnePlus 13 boasts, but the mil-standard 810H testing makes up for temperature tolerances, at least, with the watch's operating envelope stretching from -40 to 158 degrees Fahrenheit. More than enough for this hot tub it's otherwise explicitly not designed for. Not to worry, though. I make it a habit to rinse all my electronics in fresh water after immersion in chlorine or seawater, or both, and that's paid off so far. In the 3 weeks since my onboard dips, the Watch 3 has given me no problems. If there's room for improvement here, it's still mainly in software. I tested the OnePlus Watch 3 with my Motorola Razr Plus 2024, running the awkwardly named O-Health. The app itself has improved since last year, but the bar was pretty low. I don't find a lot of value in this nebulous wellness meter. That if you're looking to compete with somebody to close those rings, well, good news. The Watch 3 is not above helping you cheat. Remember, my dad and I had basically identical activity levels over our 7-day cruise. Yet comparing my step counts to those logged by his Withings ScanWatch Nova, I always logged hundreds or even thousands more steps than he did, according to the OnePlus. I don't know, maybe the ScanWatch was undercounting, or maybe OnePlus was giving me extra credit for the 18-knot headwind I ran into on the sun deck. But even once I got back home several times, the watch would inform me I'd hit my calorie goal by sitting on my tuchus. Literally just sitting here. Just beat my calorie goal just by talking to this man. Back on the plus side, the dual frequency GPS tracking on this thing seems really solid, really fast. And one thing the OHealth app does well is generate these slick, animated renders of those walks. As you know, I'm not really a fitness guy. There's so much to this watch that I will never use, from the vascular health monitoring to the pulse oximeter, so I don't know if other watches do this, but it's a fun way to relive some outdoor adventures. The sleep tracking is also on point, near as I can tell anyway, and more to the point, I can actually use this watch for sleep tracking because the battery is the best I've had on Wear OS outside of TicWatch territory. My full stats after the shark. Using a VPN is like wearing pants. All the important stuff stays private when you step foot outside. That's an analogy from channel sponsor Surfshark, a VPN that keeps your browsing between you and the site you're visiting. How? By routing your connection through any of 3,200 servers in over 100 locations. That makes it harder for your service provider to do things like throttle your connection or charge you more based on the type of content you're streaming. It means you can still get web results from your home country even when you're traveling. Helpful when you want to see prices in dollars versus dinero. And you know those pop-up ads that get so intrusive you can't even read the website underneath? With Surfshark's Clean Web mode, you can knock those out. Secure your privacy with Surfshark and get an extra 4 months at the link in the description. Thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. As you might be tired of hearing me say by now, I firmly believe that a watch should always show the time. So for the entirety of my review period, my always-on display stayed always on. I also got a lot of notifications and made ample use of the fitness tracking, at least for a non-fitness-minded person, always saying yes when the watch asked if I wanted it to record one of those walks it auto-detected. And despite that extensive use, week after week, the watch consistently lasted 4.5 days between charges. If you're not as militant as I am about the AOD, of course, you can do even better. Usually the way this works is I find the last 10 hours or so are spent in power-saving mode, which on most other wearables would be truly bare bones. But on this dual architecture system, what happens instead is that Wear OS 5 just turns off, and it's replaced by the OnePlus RTOS, which means you still get notifications and access to basic apps, and battery consumption flattens out to about 1% per hour. If you want, you can even force power-saving mode, which OnePlus says should stretch your usage to about 2 weeks. It's kind of annoying that one of the complications that doesn't work in power-saving mode is the battery usage graph, but with endurance this good, it doesn't really matter. And when it does die, charging gives the Watch 3 one more win. Thanks to the USB-C connector on the dock, you can swap the included cable for any in your arsenal, cutting down by 1 the number of wires you need to pack on your travels. And even on anemic stateroom USB-A power, the watch charges in a hurry. Less than an hour to go from empty to full, with 15 minutes getting you over the 40% mark. Wonderful. As always, there are a few lingering laments.
I wish the speakerphone was louder, since this one is too wimpy for all but the quietest of rooms.
The watch face selection has gotten broader, and I like the new video watch face more than I expected to, as an easy way to personalize the watch with something more lively than a photo. But I still miss Facer and its seemingly limitless portfolio of choices. And yeah, OnePlus did have a pretty embarrassing typo situation with the first batch of devices, proudly proclaiming to be Meda in China. But the company handled that gracefully, delaying shipments by a few weeks to fix it and offering anyone with an affected unit the option to keep it or return it. For a company that started its smartwatch journey on such shaky footing, OnePlus has more than redeemed itself with the Watch 3. It's set a new standard for what a Wear OS watch should be in 2025. It'll cost $329 before trade-in credits when it goes on sale in April, with pre-order pricing through the end of March, bringing it down to $299 with the discount code. I suspect the Pixel Watch 3 will continue to appeal to minimalists, Pixel phone users, and those seeking the tightest possible integration with Google, while Samsung owners will still gravitate toward their Galaxies. But there's now a third, excellent Wear OS option from a big name. And that's great news for everyone. This review was produced following 1 month with a Watch 3 review sample provided by OnePlus, but manufacturers never get early previews, copy approval rights, or any editorial input concerning Mr. Mobile content. This is a review, not a commercial, and the lone sponsor is Surfshark. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to the Mr. Mobile on YouTube and spread the word on social, where you can find me at Captain2Phones. Until next time, from Michael Fisher, thanks for watching. And stay mobile, my friends.